What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Cryptographics. And in this video, I want to break down the fact that yes, there has been some interesting news where the PulseX exchange, and specifically to liquidity providing, there has been a small bug of sorts where liquidity providers were not earning the fees which they should have been, and they had still, if they were participating in the farms, been still getting the incentive token, but they actually weren't getting any of the fees. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to break down exactly what happened here, what actual losses occurred, is it even meaningful? And we're going to look at what Richard Hart said to start. So let's go and check out his tweet. So it appears that the PulseX buy and burn gets all of the fees, leaving none for the LP. This same code has been in use for years of testnets. No one noticed, including the LPs. The fix that leaves fees for the LPs is on the right below. The current is on the code on the left. We're not going to look at the code. This has nothing to do with the incentive token that the LPs earn in the farms. When the new pairs exist with the new logic, everyone can move over to them if they wish, or they can stay where they are, earning no fees, but giving more to the buy and burn, or you could pull your LP. In summary, if you are an LP in PulseX currently, then you are not earning fees unless you're in the farms, in which case you're earning incentive. The code you've been running is public and open source. So essentially, in summary, guys, what this means is normally there's like a transaction fee on the PulseX exchange, similar to every other decentralized exchange that you've ever used. There's a part of the fee that goes to basically pay the liquidity providers, give them some of the fees as the incentive to provide liquidity. And in this case, there's also additionally in the PulseX exchange, part of that transaction fee, which is about 0.06% of the, or basically 21% of the transaction fee, was routed or supposed to be routed to buy PulseX out of liquidity pools and then burn it forever, which is why if we go to plsburn.com and we go down and we look at the amount of PLSX burnt here, there's 84 billion burnt already. That's quite significant. And while we were all super stoked to see that number run up, now we're understanding why. Because it was taking all of the fees that were supposed to be routed to liquidity providers and some to PulseX, all of it was being funneled to buy PulseX, okay? So this is why we saw the buy and burn going absolutely bananas, and makes a lot more sense. So we're going to break this down though, because on the surface, it sounds really bad. And yes, it's disappointing that there was some sort of an error, and that over the test nets and over the 2 years that there was some sort of error that happened. But what I want to be here is a voice of reason, and I want to explain to you what actually happened here and were there any actual losses, okay? So one, in regards to this tweet, this isn't a hack. This isn't a failure. This is just a logical line in the code. I'm going to explain as best I can because I'm not a developer and I'm not a guy that's like super code savvy, but my interpretation of this is it was a line of logic in the code that just changed the direction of where the fees were supposed to route versus where they should have been. So now it's not like a bug where there's a malfunction in terms of there's a vulnerability. It's not that at all. So again, the fees were just routed completely to the PulseX buy and burn. And this is going to be fixed at some point, and he's going to put out the new pools, and you'll be able to do that if you want. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to figure out exactly what happened with the fees. So this sounds bad, right? On the surface, it might sound like, oh, I didn't get the fees. Like I'm not earning any fees, right? Remember, you're earning the incentive token, okay? You're still earning that in these farms here. So what we're going to look at here is I got two pools that we're going to compare. I've got the PLSX and wrapped PLS pool with the DAI and wrapped Pulse pool. And what I've done here is if you come into these pools and you click on this little percentage here, if I zoom in, you can click on this and then you can go down to the details and see the base APR that you should have received, including the LP rewards, and you can see the base APR incentive. So what we can do with this is we can actually figure out exactly how much of the APR, the total amount in the farms, made up the LP's fees as well as just the incentive token that you're earning. And so what I'm going to show you here is how much, now the fees and the APR has shifted a bit or a lot because of time that has elapsed from the beginning of Pulsechain's launch and PulseX's farm launching to now. There's a difference in the APR that we saw then versus now. So the difference is going to be relative. So what I'm going to show you here, I'm going to bring up an Excel sheet. And what I want to do is I want you guys to look at this. And I'm going to explain this completely. So on the left here, I've got the two pools. We've got PLSX and a wrap PLS and DAI and wrap PLS, okay? So what I've got here is a column for the base APR. Now that column is specifically what if you had been in that specific liquidity pool as a provider since day one with the rewards that we're seeing now with those percentages all divvied up properly. This is what you should have been earning as your base APR for that pool. Now the incentive APR is in this pool. So it'd be 10% plus 42% would have been the total you would have earned. So in this case, it would have been like 53 point something, right? So, and in this one, it's over 600% total. So what I want to show you here is if you had been in these pools since launch, okay, so it's been 18 days as of right now since launch. Here's what you have to understand. You did not miss out on 10%. You did not miss out on 100%. You have to basically take this base APR, which is a yearly number that's based on the yearly amount you should earn, right? And divide that by 365. And that's going to get your daily APR. And if we take that base APR on a daily basis and we multiply that by the days Pulsechain's been online, we get the base APY that we missed out on over that period. So if you had been in the PulseX exchange for the PulseX to wrap Pulse pool, you would have missed out on 0.5% of what you should have earned. Okay. Now on $10,000, you would have lost $51.53 in that you wouldn't have earned. But what you would have gained, because we can also calculate using all of this math, exactly what you would have received over that period with these APRs, you would have gained 2.1%. So while you didn't earn $51, you did earn $210 just for participating in the farms, an incentive token. So really not out that much. And it only gets more exponential here, or the difference is even bigger the more we go out. So for these other pools, look, a 100 and a 500% APR, 18 days, you lost $500, but you gained 2,400 still, right? So you're still up. There is no loss here. Now, if we change this to like a day or two, like let's say you just did it yesterday, okay? Or 2 days ago. Let's change this LP to 2 days. And so over these 2 days, this is what you would have missed out on. On 2 days in the PulseX and Wrap Pulse pool, you'd have missed out on $5 in fees if you had provided liquidity in total of $10,000. You'd have gained $23 overall. So you'd still be up $23. On the DAI Wrap Pulse pool, you would have lost out on $54, but you would have gained $273 still in incentive token on the pool based on all the math that we're doing here. Now, these numbers, like I said, they've been fluctuating. They move up and down. So we're using this as like a point where we can kind of understand what happened here, because there's no way for us to, I don't know how to calculate, I should say, exactly based on all the APR movements, exactly what happened there and all the rewards everyone missed. But I want to put this in perspective, because if you've only been providing liquidity and farming for a couple days, like there's very little loss here. There is $54 that you should have gotten, or $6 on the other side of one of these pools that you could have had, but you still earn $23 on the low side, and you still earn $273 on the upside. And again, this is for $10,000. If we change this to, let's say you only provided liquidity for $1,000, let's just change this here. Let's see. Let's just change all this right on the spot here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Look, it's insignificant. It's not meaningful at all, right? So like, while this sucks, and yes, maybe some of you are going to say like, it's not flawless anymore. You can't call Richard Hart perfect. You can't, like, no one's perfect. And this isn't a flaw that was detrimental to anybody in particular. Yes, you lost out on some fees, but if you were farming like you should have been with the LP side of things, because there made no sense not to farm if you're providing liquidity, that you're still up from what you put in originally, right? So I just wanted to put this video out there to make you understand just how insignificant the losses are that you would have seen if you provided liquidity over the last few days, let's say even a week. Like, you missed out on $2 if you put $1,000 in. You missed out on $19 on the other pool. So it's so insignificant, guys. And this, like, everything that we're looking at with these farms, you're still in profit. So again, this isn't the end of the world. Please don't panic. please don't think that this is some major catastrophic event. This is one of the smallest possible things that could have gone wrong on the launch of something as massive as an ecosystem as this. Okay, so I hope this makes some sense here. I hope you guys are seeing how small of an actual loss you are seeing from the beginning this is. So thank you for watching. I hope this made sense. I hope you're understanding that this isn't the end of the world, and everything is still looking fantastic in terms of the future. This doesn't change anything in terms of future projections at all, and things are still looking just as bullish as they always are. Make sure you go ahead and hit like and subscribe and drop me a comment with what your thoughts are on the whole situation. And if you want to learn about how to participate in this ecosystem because you're just hearing about it, I have coaching calls in the description for 30-minute and 1-hour calls where I can show you how this whole ecosystem operates. I can show you the pros and the cons and all the steps you need to know to feel confident in operating here and making the best moves so that you feel safe in doing so. I also have a book that you can go ahead and wait, hold on, where is it? On Amazon, and you can go in the link to the description and get a paperback or a hard copy. You can also get a free Kindle as well as the free PDF download on my cryptographics.com website under shop. And if you feel called to donate, there's also a link for that as well. But that's all I got for you guys. I just wanted to quickly come out and make sure you understood how insignificant this is, because yes, it's disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, things happen, and this is such a small error in the grand scheme of things that is so insignificant. It's not going to change the trajectory of anything. So please don't panic, don't overreact. Just allow yourself to chill and watch things play out, and have a great rest of your day, because I'll see you guys either tomorrow or very soon in the next video. Peace.